Hi, Mike. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm so glad that we had this podcast today. It's incredibly timely.
I know. It really is. And, I'd like to welcome our listeners to the show today. Building Business Podcast with the Mount Pleasant Chamber. Hello, folks. That was Rebecca's sweet voice you just heard just now. This is Mike Compton, marketing chair for the Chamber. And, Rebecca, you're the executive director.
I am.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mike.
Yeah, we really appreciate your leadership.
Well, I
speak for the board, too.
Thank you. Oh,
Who cares
thank you.
what they all think?
I appreciate you all very much. Could not do this without the board and also our membership coordinator, JD, who's back at the office holding down the fort. So thank you, JD.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
Best. You know what? Who else is amazing? Is Shannon Whitehead. She is our guest today. Shannon, say hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Shannon, what's your title?
So I have a very long title at the town of Mount Pleasant, but I am specifically the Emergency Management Resilience Officer for the town. I am in the executive office as an advisee for the mayor.
What does that mean?
It means that I chase a lot of storms, write plans, as well as do a lot of grants.
Storm chasing.
I monitor the storm quite a bit. Basically, as you all know, we are in peak season of hurricane season right now. We have Hurricane Erin out in the Atlantic as well as another disturbance. So basically, with my job, I just kind of monitor the storms, send information, making sure that we have plans in place, ready to go, speak with citizens, the community. With Rebecca, I spoke with the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce, and just kind of putting the word out there so everybody's prepared if we end up getting a hurricane.
You did a luncheon with us recently, right?
I sure did.
Rebecca, you took some notes from that luncheon, didn't you? Did you want to dive in a little bit more on those notes?
Yeah, so thank you, Shannon, for being with us today. I was, I thought I knew what your position was all about, and I really don't, and I didn't realize what the town offered as well in terms of resources. So before we dive too much into that, tell the listeners, if you don't mind, how you got into the position with the town, how you are a, not really a storm chaser, but clearly you enjoy weather.
Yeah.
So how that came about.
Yeah, and I greatly appreciate it. So I kind of went backwards a little bit. I went to College of Charleston. I am a geologist by trade.
So earthquakes would kind of also be your
gig. A lot
gig.
about earthquakes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, most definitely. Went to the private sector, and then from there I went to FEMA and helped out with their individual assistance department. And then I always had a love for Charleston. They always say when you move away, you're always going to come back. That's happened to me twice. So I am back here in Charleston. I kind of just had a love for helping people just in general. And then the weather has always been a big thing for me, too, especially after Hurricane Katrina. I kind of really got into this kind of position. So, yeah.
And the weather here is not boring.
It is not whatsoever. The town actually just did a town-specific hazard mitigation plan, meaning that we did a study of all hazards that are in the Charleston area, specifically the town. And we have all hazards except for a volcano that we know of.
Oh, my goodness.
Great.
So, being at the time of year that it is, let's talk about hurricanes. And what does somebody listening out there, what are the four major issues? I thought I knew them all, but I didn't. So let's talk about the four major issues. We think of wind.
That's correct. Yep, we have. So we have wind, we have tornadoes, specifically water spouts, usually on the coastal area. We also have storm surge, which is number one, as well as flooding. So, especially downtown area gets flooded really bad. Right. But we also have our nuanced areas in the town of Mount Pleasant as well that we just keep an eye on and monitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You said something about Erin kind of on its way. Is storm surge a key to that one, even though they're, 400 miles out? Is that what you said from the coast?
Yeah. So based upon the National Weather Service of Charleston, they indicated that, when it swings by us, it's still going to go out and curve north. That's the projected path as of now, and it seems to be in correlation with all the runs that they've had. And it's going to be approximately about 400 miles, possibly. But storm surge and wind, because this Hurricane Erin is huge in diameter. So it's just not where the cone of uncertainty is. You got to think about the broader area.
Right.
So that's why they're doing the evacuation in North Carolina, on the coastal area. But storm surge and wind's kind of really what you have to worry about during these storms. But even those 4 key ones that, we spoke of.
So do you think with forecasting now, are we doing a better job? Because Hugo was such a surprise a long time ago now, 1989, is that right? Is it easier to forecast where they're going to go? Is it more reliable?
If we had the technology then that we have now.
Hugo did that funky turn and then, right.
Yeah, so everything is situational. That's what I tell everybody. Just in general, because you never know, because you have your low fronts and your high fronts.
Like a true weather person.
Situational.
It's situational that moves, but yes, with the technology.
Life is situational
too. But like I said, everything's situational. But the technology that we have now, helps us to predict further of kind of the impacts and possibly where it's going to go. But also having those outside resources and having those relationships. So with the National Weather Service, Charleston, with the National Hurricane Center, just because we're Mount Pleasant, we also communicate with our Tri-Cities, which we call City of Charleston, Town of Mount Pleasant, and North of Charleston. But we also get information from the Healthcare Coalition. So a lot of these people are putting out not different information, but the same key information to us. So it's able to help us predict where we could go and help prepare a lot quicker and plan.
So that's a lot of resources for information. So the listener out there, particularly the ones who've moved into the area, and I don't know how many a day are new moving in there. I used to know those numbers.
40 a day.
Thank you. Okay, 40 a day.
More
to
than
the
40 a day.
Tri-County area, is that how you would
Charleston,
perhaps refer to it? Yeah. So if you were to pick a source, would you to say this is going to give you the most up-to-date? We have wonderful weather folks out there, our TV stations, but the town, is that also a kind of like a one-stop shop for everything going on? Can we just go click onto the town website and get alerts?
Yeah, so there's many areas that you can go. First and foremost, I always tell people to make sure that they get the accurate information.
Okay, that's important.
Because, social media platforms, now we have AI, and that's not currently accurate. So you want to make sure that you're getting the correct sources. So like your local newscaster that you, know that they're going to put out the right information. Charleston County's website, South Carolina Emergency Management, semd.gov. You can go to that. But the town does specifically have one where we push out the same information. So if you go to the town's website, which is tompsc.com, you can go there and go to Notify Me, and that's where you can sign up for specific alerts. You'll have to scroll down a little bit once you hit the Notify Me button and then go to the Alert Center. And once you sign up, you'll specifically get alerts from the town of Mount Pleasant. That way we're keeping the same accurate information. But you can also follow the town's social media pages. We have an Instagram, a Facebook. And what we do like to ask, because there is a lot of inaccurate information now based upon AI and different things people are doing, is that once you see that in your local town or wherever you live, but specifically for Mount Pleasant, Charleston area, especially if you're new here, what could help us is if you see that information on our website, to physically share it so everybody's getting the same accurate information. Okay. But the town has its own website that you can sign up for Notify Me.
Okay, that's great to know. And so the resources are really important, but let's also, I want to talk about how do we get ahead of this, prepare for this?
Sure.
What should we always have in our
kit?
Our go kit, to-go box. What needs to be in there?
Yeah, so most definitely. So hurricane season, obviously is very long. But not only during hurricane season, you want to have since we have all hazards, why not have a go kit? Because think about, flooding, things that's happened all over the United States, fires or anything such as that nature. So you have it ready to go. But yeah, for like just a go kit, just in general, you want to have supplies for you and your family, water, food, medical records. Make sure you have those. If you have a business, make sure you have your insurance papers, as well as if you're a homeowner. If you have kids, make sure, I always tell people to have something in the bin that's going to let them feel more safe because, that could be a big thing for a child to have to get up and move and go somewhere. And we're all pet friendly, so we all have fur babies, which I do as well. To make sure you have the stuff for them too, not only just have one harness, have two in case the other one breaks. They do say for your pets. So at the town, we do have dry storage bags that was provided from the Charleston Animal Society for pets. Just in general, it's got a checklist. But I like to tell people, make sure you have a picture of you and your pet so it shows ownership. Because a lot of times, too, if something bad were to happen, and you get separated, then you can show ownership of your pet.
Never thought about that.
That's a brilliant idea.
I honestly never thought about it either. I'm thinking a picture of your pet, okay, but to show ownership, a picture of you and your pet. So
I have a bunny. I'm not going to.
Oh, really?
I expect to see a picture of you with the bunny.
Yep,
Sorry,
that's right.
son.
You're going to have to.
I'm going to get lost in the shuffle.
No.
My evil laugh just now. Anyhow, that's really cute about the pets thing, for sure. What about on the hurricane side of things? How can we be better prepared?
Particularly with our businesses out there listening.
Yeah. So, with businesses for hurricanes, obviously having a plan in place, you're preparing and your response and kind of like your mitigation. But you want a plan. So you want to make sure that you have maybe an emergency action plan for your business. Within that kind of tells, okay, what are we doing as a business if we have to close down? How are we closing down? How are we going to tell the employees? What can we do for our employees to help as well? Making sure that you do your normal things, obviously bringing in your furniture if you have any outside, making sure you talk to your neighbors because, basically it starts local and ends local. So neighbors helping neighbors, and that's just not home, but that's businesses. How can you help each other coming back? Because if it was a major category hurricane, what does that look like for your business? Will you still be closed for a long period of time? When will you open? How will you communicate that to your employees as well as to the community that you are open or that you are closed? And most importantly, those insurance papers. Before a hurricane or any kind of storm, especially if there's an evacuation order, to call your insurance company, make sure your papers are up to date for hurricane season, flooding and everything. So
these are all things that you just overlook, right? Especially just simple things like having an action plan with your business.
Yeah, and that's just having like the numbers as well. Your employees' numbers, other people's numbers that may be able to help you. So say, for instance, if you're getting back and you need help in a certain area, like the 211 number that you can call, that kind of helps with each state, if you're needing tarps or different things such as that nature.
Oh, I didn't know that. 211, eh?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. I've lived here a while.
This is why we do this, Rebecca. This is why we have this podcast.
I try a big plastic sheeting at home, but maybe I need to look into getting tarps too because of leaks.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah, no, this is great notes. What else we got in there?
So that's all great. That's preparing, right?
That's
so
correct.
you've got your to-go box. Now I need to go. So how do I leave? Like, what route do I take? I was here for Floyd. That's how long I've been here. I knew not to go 26, and I went a different direction.
Yeah.
So how do I know how to get out of here?
So basically, you want to go to the SCMD website.
Okay.
And first off, you want to know your zone. Obviously, in this, hurricane guide, it has it on here as well. They did just change up their zones last year.
Okay.
So Mount Pleasant is in Zone B.
Oh.
There are 3 houses in Mount Pleasant that are in Zone A. I'm not sure which one that is. But if you go to the SCMD website and click Know Your Zone, you can physically type your address in, and it will pop up.
Okay.
And it'll say Zone B, Zone C, D. And then after that, they do have the maps within the state guide that you can get over at the town if you would like. They also have it online. And that tells you the routes that you need to go. And so if they're saying Zone A, evacuate first, you're going to go the route that they tell you to go. And I always tell people, go the route that they ask you to go because you don't want to get stuck on those side roads if there's flooding or if there's a tree.
Right.
You want to make sure that you're going the route that they suggest just because they plan this, all the time. But yeah, that's kind of how you can find the information and know which route you need to go to and stuff.
Is it real time so that they know if there's flooding coming, that type of thing, or?
Yeah, so they kind of plan for all of
They
this.
do? Okay.
Yeah. So they actually have exercises where they change the routes. But, well, not necessarily change the routes, I'm sorry, but do the interstate where everybody can go in one direction.
Well, I just downloaded the SC Emergency Manager app. Okay. You can get that at where SC, what is it?
SEMD?
Yep, .org.
That's correct.
Yeah. Listeners, do that. It's really easy. And it might save your life one day. Look at us saving lives right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Saving lives and keeping our businesses strong.
That's right.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Building business.
Yeah.
There was this cool, where can they get one of these
that's a great
handy
idea,
dandy
Mike.
thingies?
Yeah, so you can actually get the state guide over at the town hall.
Town hall?
At 100 Ann Edwards Lane here in Mount Pleasant. And you can ask for one, or you can just ask for myself, Shannon Whitehead, and I can bring some down for you. But you can also go online. They have them online as well on the SEMD website. You can have your own PDF file or anything that you need. You could probably also go to Charleston County's website as well. They have their own guide, and then they also have the state guide on there as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But in the Charleston County guide, they actually have the bus stops where you could go in case, for some reason, if you are unable to leave. I always tell people to leave when they kind of heed warning that you should go, and make sure that you keep an eye on the path of the storm, but using the information that's provided from experts, because I'm not a meteorologist by any means. But if for some reason your car breaks down, or it's the last minute and you've got to go to a shelter, there are actual bus stops where you can go to get on the bus to go to the shelter, or they have that Charleston County to let you know where they're at as well.
So it sounds like kind of keeping those resources online, available, like pulling down the apps, getting ahead of it.
Yeah.
When talking about our fur babies, do all shelters allow pets, or how do you figure that out?
So obviously, we don't have shelters on the coastal areas because we have people to leave. Yeah. So they start to do them in the North Charleston area, and Charleston County, along with the state, they coordinate those efforts to see, okay, what shelters can we have? Like normally they're schools, but they do other buildings as well. I know last year there was a shelter that did allow pets as well.
Okay. Any advice for someone out there who, we've talked about children, but perhaps have a parent they've got to also, a loved one who is elderly and needs assistance, or maybe they have some dementia-related issues? Any advice for that person?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I actually have a pamphlet too. It's called Senior Prep.
Okay.
But you can go online, so just senior and then p.r.e.p. They have a lot of good information. They did have an expo, and I think they do it every year. They just recently had it a couple months ago at the North Charleston Coliseum for the seniors to come out and learn what's available to them, and how they can, because a lot of people too are in, assisted living facilities and whatnot. So my best advice too is, if you have a parent that you're help taking care of, or anyone with disabilities, just kind of getting those numbers prepared. You can also get it on the SEMD website too. But the Senior Prep, they have a lot of good information for everyone.
So we've actually started an Aging Connections program, Mike, for our chamber members that provide senior services. So I'll get with you, Shannon. I'd like to have that information available. And certainly the chamber office, we'd love to have some of that information too, so that we're at 534 Johnny Dodds Boulevard, Suite 101. We'd love for y'all to come visit us at the chamber office, but we'll have that as well. This has been a great conversation. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And we'll put as many notes as we can too in our show notes. So all the .coms, website, contact info, we can put in our show notes as well. So
yeah, that'd be great.
Thanks for the time, Shannon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Just like I tell everybody, just make sure you're prepared. And, it only takes one storm, especially like Hurricane Erin. It went from a Category 1 to a Cat 5 in 24 hours, which is called rapid intensification. So, just make sure that you have everything ready to go, and that you know your zone and have a plan to where you're going to.
And you can find Shannon at tompsc.com, down on Mount Pleasant website.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks to Charleston Media Solutions as well, and the Mount Pleasant Chamber. We'll talk to you next time, Mount Pleasant.
All right. Thank you so much.